Chapter of my latest book, Bounce Forward, that we are the average of our 5 closest friends. The company that we keep determine who we are. I hang around with a very negative proximity. They influence me in a very toxic way. I found myself getting kicked out of school. So then I never went back into traditional education. I never studied at university. I do not have a university degree, yet I did manage to get myself a government job when it was, oh yeah, thanks. So I did manage to get myself a government job, which was for the Australian federal government as a youth futurist, so basically predicting trends when it came to young people. It was during that time that I actually had my major car accident. It was my fault. I was driving my big company car, big V8 Statesman, drove over the other side of the road and had a 206-kilometre head-on with a semi-trailer truck. After being in hospital for 5 months in a wheelchair for a year, I decided not to go back to my same job, but I decided to then starting to tell my story. So I told my story at a local youth group. It was actually a church youth group, then in a couple of schools and so on and so forth, and then I got into corporate training as well. And I still remember so clearly charging over $1,000 for a 1-hour keynote presentation. I'm thinking there's no one on the planet that would actually be interested in me and my story. I'm not good enough. I don't have any area of expertise. I'm not worth this amount of money. And I started to tell myself that I'm not good enough. Fast forward a few years, the most amount of money I've had for a 1-hour keynote presentation is $25,000. Wow. Yeah, thank you. And then from there, now we're building this. You know, even now, I still think, man, I'm not good enough. As if I could train speakers how to tell their story. I'm just a young punk kid from Tasmania. I don't have a university degree. Why am I good enough? Why would people want to pay to come and spend 3 days with me or come and do a 12-month program with me? I'm not good enough. But slowly and surely I then started to think, wait a sec, I am good enough. And where it started for me was literally in the mirror. Instead of me saying, look, I'm not good enough and whatever it is, I'm not, you know, nowadays I look myself in the mirror and I'm thinking, how you doing? I like me. I don't need the approval of anyone at all. I'm not wanting for people to think that, you know, for people to tell me, Sam, you're good enough. For people to tell me, hey, Sam, you should charge this amount of money. I now know that I'm worthy. I now know what I should be getting paid. If I sat down with you one-on-one and I said, are you worth 10 grand an hour? Could you answer with absolute solid clarity, conviction, certainty that you are worth that? So this is something that I had to navigate through. What are my limiting beliefs? How do I self-sabotage? What are the negative stories that I'm telling myself why I'm not good enough? People follow people that have a level of certainty. They do. Like, I know some people that, you know, would never, like, that literally some of the stuff that they say, they're making up on the spot. But people just follow them because they speak with certainty. There's a certainty about them. And in today's world, when there's so much uncertainty and so many changes that are going on, we follow people that have a level of certainty. You can see it in their eyes. It's a good leader. But we can't have certainty when we think that we're not good enough. We can't have certainty if we're trying to find approval from everyone. So how do we self-sabotage? What do we need to do to start breaking these things off of our life? And a lot of the time, it's happened through childhood. It might have happened through a boss at work, a relationship breakdown when someone said, you're fat, or you're ugly, or someone said you're not good enough, or whatever, and then you start believing that. Then whenever now you receive praise, deep down you're thinking, man, they're so not right. There's no way I'm like that. And then someone wants to try and give you praise, and someone says, man, you're amazing at that. You just say, oh man, stop it. I'm not like that. I'm this person. And so what I would like to do now is actually start breaking off some of this dead weight. Because slowly and surely, all throughout our life, we might have been told something. And let me give you an example. Is that things all throughout our life, things have happened. And this is some curriculum that I've actually, that was birthed out of Landmark. I've actually done Landmark. I'm not saying that I'm a Landmartian. There's some elements of Landmark I love. There's some elements of Landmark that I just don't agree with at all. But this particular process here I'm about to take you through was birthed through Landmark. So we've had some things in our life that have happened. But then we create a story around these things. I'll give you an example, right? My parents are religious. And they said to me that money is the root of all evil, Sam. And so then, throughout my childhood and throughout my life, my parents have never owned a new car, never owned a house. My parents have never owned land or never owned a house. Because they've always said that money is the root of all evil. They don't believe in wealth or anything at all like that. So then as I'm growing up, my parents have influenced me in that way. And so all throughout, even throughout my 20s, I was thinking, man, I'm not good enough. I can't make any money. And so on and so forth. And it wasn't until such time as I actually started to try and find, okay, where did this start from? Where was this birthed from? And I realised it was actually my belief structure of my parents. I actually started believing that myself, subconsciously. You know, there might have been a time where someone might have said, let's say you didn't get invited to a party. Let's say all your friends had a party, and this might be in primary school, high school, might have even been last year. But you didn't get invited to a party. And then suddenly now we make it mean that no one likes me. But all that happened is that you didn't get invited to a party. Maybe they forgot, I don't know. But you made it mean that no one likes me. My mum and dad, actually particularly my mum, her love language is acts of service. Now, I don't know if you've read the book, The 5 Love Languages. It's an amazing book. If you haven't read it, I would suggest for you to read it. By the way, I would suggest in the back of your book or something, write down a whole heap of resources that we do say, like books and that type of stuff. This book here totally changed my life, and it's actually really improved my relationship as well. And it's called The 5 Love Languages. And it's by Chapman. Just look at the Chapman. It's I think it's either the Chapman brothers or husband and wife, I'm not quite sure. Michael Chapman, yep. And it's called The 5 Love Languages. And what he talks about is that there are 5 core love languages, and in most cases, most people have 1 or 2 that is their natural default. And let me just really quickly run through these, and you'll notice that you identify either with your partner or your loved one, or even yourself. So one of the love languages is actually acts of service. So these are the type of people who always love doing stuff for you. When you go home, the house is tidy, your shirts might be ironed, the food on the table, it's acts of service. People that do stuff for you, buy you coffee. Second one is quality time. They're the type of people who just love spending quality time with you, even if it is just sitting on the couch, watching TV, not even talking, but the quality time is what really means something to them. That's how they show love, that's how they like to receive love. Then you've got physical touch. They're the type of people who hug you regularly, or even when they're talking to you, they say, hey man, it's really good to see you. Or they always want to shake your hand or give you a hug or whatever. And if they're talking to you, they're, hey man, so they're the type of people who actually communicate and show their love through physical touch. Then you've got gifts. They're the type of people who, whenever they see you, they've always got a gift to give you. If they go away overseas, they always buy you a gift. They always get you something. They're the type of people who will always share gifts with you. And then the last one is quality time. Sorry? Oh, yeah. Words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. They're the type of people who always give you encouraging words. They always say really, really nice things about you. And they're like, oh man, I really like your glasses over here. I like that necklace, Nancy, that you've got. That nice pink shawl that you've got there, Charlene. Absolutely. So they're the type of people who always give you words of affirmation, always encouraging words, etc. So they're the 5 love languages. So my mum's love language was acts of service, which means I never ever went without food. We always had 3-4 meals a day. We always had dessert all the time. Yet my mum never hugged me. Her love language was not physical touch. On top of that, her love language wasn't words of affirmation, which means she never said, "Sam, I love you." She never said those words. So she never gave me a hug, and she never said, "I love you" to me. So because my mum didn't do that, I thought I was unloved. So all that happened was that mum didn't hug me and she didn't tell me she loved me. But I created a story around that to say I'm not loved. All that happened was my parents told me, and they believed that money was the root of all evil. And so I created a story around that, thinking I can't create wealth. And so a lot of the time, things that have happened in our life, we create stories around it. We didn't get invited to a party, I'm not liked. Someone didn't hug you, I'm not loved. Your boss said, that work, I'm sorry, what you've done there, it's not good enough. Suddenly now you think your entire life isn't good enough. But all that happened was that your boss said that the work wasn't good enough, but now you think that now you are not good enough. Things have happened in our life, and we create stories around it, or negative beliefs, or we self-sabotage because of something that's happened. Now, if you turn across the page there, I think it's now to page 9. This here, this space in here, this is what we like to call an incomplete. If you want to write that in. It's an incomplete. So now we're going through life with incompletes. So I had an incomplete around what money meant to me. I had an incomplete around not being loved. You might have an incomplete with an ex-partner or a relationship that you might have had. And you're still holding on to, to an anger. When someone actually says something to you, there's something that rises from within and you get frustrated or angry about it. And it's an incomplete. This morning, when we met here as a team, a lot of us here 7:30, 8 a.m. And what then happens is we actually then have a meeting. And we have a meeting for over half an hour this morning, and we gave words of encouragement, etc., etc. But then we said, hey, does anyone have any incompletes? And I said, actually, yeah, I have an incomplete. We actually, in the last couple of days, we had 3 to 4 people drop out. And this is unheard of in our boot camp, for people to drop out 2 to 3 days before the actual boot camp. We had a number of people drop out. So I had an incomplete with that. And so I then needed to voice my incomplete in order for me to then deal with it, and then I can move on. Because for too long, we've held our incompletes inside. And then we lock it up, and then we throw away the key. And then we're wondering why we're not moving forward in our life, because we've got all these things that have been locked up and we're not dealing with it. These incompletes. Yet the only way to complete an incomplete, get this, the only way to complete this incomplete is to have a forgiveness conversation. The only way to complete an incomplete is to have a forgiveness conversation. So now, guys, we have about 10-15 minutes before lunch, but this is the tough bit. This is the most difficult part of day one. And it's now about taking action. So what that will look like is actually having a forgiveness conversation with someone. Who is someone that you need to have a forgiveness conversation with? Someone in your life where it's not about them apologising to you, it's about you apologising to them because this is something that's been a burden for you. Even if you know that they're in the wrong and you're in the right. Even if you've been waiting for someone to apologise to you, this is a moment where I would like to be serious. This is a moment where I'm asking you to be brave and courageous and have a forgiveness conversation with someone. Get on the phone and say, hey, look, you know what happened last year, last week? Maybe it's a parent. When I did this exercise, I rang my mum. And I said, Mum, you know, for too long I've actually felt that I've felt unloved. And I blamed you, Mum. I thought it was because you didn't hug me. I thought it was because you didn't tell me that you loved me. And so I've actually felt unloved. And Mum, I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry that I felt that. And it was one of the most amazing breakthroughs I've ever had, having a forgiveness conversation. Another one, I had one with my dad to say, hey Dad, I know that you've always believed that money has been the root of all evil, and I've actually put that on myself as well. And I wanted to let you know that I respect your decision and I respect your religion, but you know something, that's not what I believe. And I wanted to apologise and for putting all the blame on you when really I am my own person. And I had to have a forgiveness conversation with my dad. Other people that have come in here, they've had a forgiveness conversation with an ex-partner in a relationship. And even though it was one of the toughest things that they had to do, they got on the phone and they just simply said, hey, look, I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry. And, you know, I actually felt that you done wrong by me. I actually felt that I was waiting for you to apologise to me, but I wanted to let you know that I'm actually now going to release myself from that, and I just wanted to apologise for feeling this way. And I'm sorry. The forgiveness conversation is for you, it's not for them. I'll say that again. The forgiveness conversation is for you, not for them. It's for you to release that. Because this is the thing that will stop you from even catching the rest of what this next 3 days has to offer. I mean, this first 3 stages that we took you through this morning, this is the basic 101 soft skills that we're doing. We worked on our state of mind, we looked at our strengths and our talents, now we're getting rid of our limiting beliefs, the way that we self-sabotage, and these stories, the way that we have these incompletes in our life. And it's very, very difficult for you to then go into the next stage, which is actually getting into the communication stuff. It's very hard for you to catch some of this with you still having incompletes in your life. It's hard to focus, to be present, to live free if you've still got these incompletes in your life. And even if you can't actually think of a really big one like what mine were with my parents, they were big ones. It might just simply be with the fight that you might have had with a friend last week. It's about now being brave, being courageous, and having a forgiveness conversation with them. Might have even been with a loved one, a partner, a brother, a sister, a son or daughter, to say, hey, look, I know we haven't spoken about this, but you know what happened last year. I just wanted to apologise because I think that that has been a moment that's actually been, that stopped our relationship. And even if it is with someone that you don't want a relationship with anymore, that's okay. but there is still something that you know that you're carrying this level of unforgiveness. This is an incomplete. And these are the things that will stop you from operating in absolute freedom in life. So even if it is someone that you don't want a relationship anymore, having a forgiveness conversation will really help you to be free, for you to start achieving the things that you were born to achieve. So I'm asking you right now, before lunch, for you to go and be brave. Pick up the phone, and how can you participate right now? It might not be something as big as mine. It might just simply be a fight that you had with a partner yesterday, or with a colleague, or with an ex-boss. Maybe with a brother, a sister, a son or daughter. How can you participate and have a forgiveness conversation? That's it. That's all I'd like for you to do. Participate and have a forgiveness conversation.